Bradell, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. Firstly, just to get a quick update, have the fires been mostly contained now?
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunities. Yes, mostly contained. They're busy with mop-up operations, and hopefully it will be 100% contained within the next few days.
I saw a report earlier before going on air from Working on Fire. I think it comes through over the last day or so, saying that these latest fires were 4 times the extent of the fires that we saw burning Knysna last year. Was the damage that big?
Yes, these fires covered a huge area, 400 square kilometers or 90,000 hectares. It's from Plettenberg Bay in the east to Mossel Bay in the west to Oudtshoorn inland. So very big fires, and we're very fortunate that we managed to get them under control.
Okay, what kind of damage have they left behind besides burning a lot of natural vegetation?
Yeah, we've lost 90,000 hectares of natural vegetation. Obviously, through the mop-up operations, we will then determine the cost and the loss and damages. And then, obviously, we will also start with an official investigation to determine the cause of the fire on the 24th of October. The fire started to the north of George. And there was a second big fire in the Karatara area on the land of Sandparks. But those investigations will be on the way very shortly.
Okay, and hundreds of people had to be evacuated. Are they now back in their homes, and they received enough support from your perspective?
Yeah, it's very difficult to compare fires. Like in Knysna, we evacuated 10,000 people. In George Fire, we evacuated around about 2,000 people. All of them is back in their homes, except around about 100 that we're busy to declare the area safe, and then they will be put back in their homes very shortly. But I also must tell you that 680 people combated this fire, mostly from Working on Fire, from the Free State. Other provinces supported us, and we're very grateful for their help and their support.
Those 100 people who still have to go back home, in which area is that?
Well, they being housed in George in the community hall because that's where we've got the resources to feed them, to see to it that they've also got some dignity. So they'll be housing in George.
Okay. Now, Mr. Bradell, the fire season, from what we understand, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is not really over. What is your department and other authorities planning to do to try and mitigate flaring up of more fires?
Sure, yeah, we had a very bad start to the fire season. This is just the start. We actually plan our fire season from the 1st of December. We had, over the last 2 weeks, 7 big fires. We've lost 2,500 informal settlements within the city of Cape Town. Those are people that we need to look after. Social services is very much involved to see to it that the people get the resources to support and to help our matriculants so that they can write their exams. But we geared up for the fire season as much as possible. We start very early. We get in around about 10 to 15 aircraft to combat our fires. We use 36 landing strips. Pertaining to the informal settlement fires, that's a very dangerous fire where we normally lose lives and people lose their property. We've come up with new technology, they call it a smoke alarm, that we're trying to get into so many of the informal settlements as possible. So there's a plan. But people need to work with us, they need to work with the professionals. And I want to thank everybody in the disaster family, from SAPS to the firefighters to the EMS. They all geared up and ready to help and support the people.
Would it be fair to say that you were caught a little bit off guard because you were planning that the fire season will start in December?
Well, not off guard. You never know when a fire will start, and you must always be ready. The firefighters, they're always on standby. I think the success of the story is that we managed to land 680 firefighters within 12 hours within the George area. We had 10 to 15 aircraft flying and bombing the fires. You must understand the windy conditions, the mountainous conditions made it very difficult for the firefighters, as well as in certain circumstances when there's a lot of smoke, when the wind picks up above certain speed, the helicopters can't fly because of safety conditions. So there's a lot that you need to take into consideration, but we're always ready to tackle any kind of disasters in the Western Cape.
Okay, finally, Mr. Bradell, just before I let you go, from what I recall, nobody has yet been found to have started the fire that destroyed much of Knysna last year. How confident are you that this time around you'll be able to pinpoint, during the investigation, pinpoint the exact cause of this fire that started, as you said, in October, north of George?
First of all, we investigate each fire, because it's also part of our research to help us to combat fires and to plan better for the fire season. We've got a full investigation going on that fire. We know more or less in what area it started, to the north of George. And I'm quite confident that the exact cause of this fire will be determined within the next few months.
Thank you very much. That's Anton Bradell. He's the MEC in the Western Cape for Local Government and Environmental Affairs.